Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli, and technically it's the unofficial end of summer, even though fall isn't until September 22nd. It is time to say, happy fall, y'all. Last time to wear white for the season, right? I don't think anybody really cares about that anymore, but what we do care about is the fact that kids need to stay swim ready. And we're going to find out the latest statistics here in just a minute with the gentleman I'm bringing on the show, but it is so true that our neurodiverse population is at so much more of a risk of drowning. It's like our kids are drawn to water, at least mine was, and still kind of is. And so getting those swim classes, and I get it, they're not cheap, right? So with me today, Craig Sears, the founder of the Greater Atlanta Water Safety Alliance. Hi, Craig. How you doing?
I'm well, Gina. How are you?
I'm so good. The unofficial end of summer now upon us. And I thought we would go over, and maybe you have the latest stats for kids with like drowning or water safety issues?
Sure. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. So first of all, thanks for having me on, and glad to be joining you today. So yeah, the stats unfortunately are not good. There were an average of about 3,500 to 4,000 drowning deaths annually in the United States, and unfortunately, since the pandemic, we're now up over 4,000. So that has been increasing. The speculation is that it's due to lack of access and proper instruction during the time of the pandemic. And the aquatics industry lost a lot of, there were a lot of facilities closed during that time, and then we also lost a lot of instructors during that time as well. So we're unfortunately we've gone backwards. So it's still a big issue.
Craig, do we know the percentage of those drownings that involve special needs and the vulnerable population?
I don't have the exact percentage of that, but I know that children with special needs are at a much elevated risk. So particularly individuals with autism, they're at 160 times elevated risk of a neuronormal child. Then also children with and people with seizure conditions and heart conditions are also at elevated risk of drowning, because those type of situations can flare up in when the person is in water, and then of course if no one is paying attention, it's generally not a good outcome.
So with these sad and yet preventable deaths, you started the Greater Atlanta Water Safety Alliance. What is it? What is this organization about?
So what we do at GAWSA for short, Greater Atlanta Water Safety Alliance, we started back in 2012, and phase one was just really providing complimentary water safety education to the community. And we speak to different community groups, so that can be mothers groups, that can be lifeguard groups, that can be preschools, that can be elementary schools, swim coaching groups, property management, anyone that has a vested interest in risk mitigation and water safety. And so that's basically what we've been doing. And then during the pandemic, we pivoted to online education and webinars, and we started offering those. We've had just a wonderful outreach over these years, and now we've expanded just a few years ago to add phase two, which is swim lesson scholarships. And so we're offering swim lessons to underprivileged families who are unable to afford them otherwise. And we have a process where they can apply on our website, which is gawatersafety.org. And they can apply straight on there. And then they go through a vetting process where we ensure that there is a financial need. And we ask them questions about things like transportation, verifying that they've got transportation. They do in the final stage, right before they're paired with one of our partner swim schools, they do have to make a $25 refundable deposit. That's just to ensure they're
going to show up.
Right, exactly. We want them showing
right.
up. It takes a lot of administrative effort on our part as well as the partner swim schools to create and offer these lessons for the families that need them.
Are they just one lesson, or do kids go through a whole program so that they are, in fact, swimmers at the end of it?
Typically, it's a whole program. So up to about 2 months. Sometimes we can even extend beyond 2 months of time, depending upon what the individual needs. We have some flexibility there with our swim schools. We partner with about 8 to 9 swim schools around the Metro Atlanta area. And basically they go
Give them a plug.
Yeah.
Give them a plug, Craig.
They're fantastic.
Who are you working with?
So most of the Goldfish locations, we work with also with Swim School or Swim Kids as they're known. They've got multiple locations. We also work with Dive Ventures and the Dive Shop. We're working on onboarding a couple other schools that I can't name just yet because they're not officially onboarded. But we've got easily I think it's 8 or 9 locations now where we are offering these scholarships. And not all of them offer kid lessons, but we have, I think, 3 locations that also offer adult lessons, which is super important because if the adult can't swim in the household, there's a very small chance, I think it's 12% chance that the children also know how to swim. So it's important for adults to swim.
I was reading on your website the statistic about how 1 in 12 children die with an actual adult present near the pool. They drown.
It's even more than that. So 88% of childhood drownings occur with an adult present. Now, it doesn't mean that they're always supervising at that moment, because the other important statistic you have to look at with that is 70% of childhood drownings occur during a non-swim time, meaning that the parent was not expecting the child to be in the water at all. So this kind of gets into where, if anybody has kids, they as soon as they become mobile, they start wandering off, and getting into their own thing. And so what typically happens is, in these cases, 70% of the time, is the child will wander into the pool area or another body of water around the home, but the pool is the most common in those young ages of 1 to 4. And the parent's just not expecting it. So the parent, is home usually, or the guardian is home, 88% of the time, but they may not be directly supervising.
So a question about your scholarships. Are these rolling scholarships, or do you partner with these swim schools and only offer sessions like one time per year? Or is this something that families can continue to apply for anytime throughout the year? Because most people think summer, swimming, but actually it's a really good time to fine tune those skills and get your kids swim ready for the next summer during the fall and winter, right?
Absolutely, Gina. Yeah. So kids tend to regress a little bit in the winter if they're out of the water. They start to lose those skills if they haven't been practicing. So it's really important to keep them sharp year round. So our swim schools operate year round, and you can apply for a scholarship year round. We're working on fine tuning our process, and we're basically we're in the process of moving to like a quarter system, where we'll be awarding scholarships on a quarterly basis. And if you win a scholarship, or if you're awarded a scholarship, you can use that scholarship for up to 2 or a little over 2 months, maybe at max 3 months, and then you cannot apply again until the following year. We want to make sure that we have enough resources to reach as many kids as possible. But typically 2 to 3 months is the max that they could extend that scholarship. But then they can apply again next year.
And that's wonderful. I love the fact that you've partnered with swim schools all over the metro, north, south, east, and west, in the heart of it, too. Is there anything, Craig, that you'd like to give to our viewers and listeners watching, like some really just great advice about water safety in general, something that you kind of live by every single time you're around the water?
I think, going back to that statistic of 70% of the time the drowning occurs during non-swim times, just being aware of your surroundings. As a parent, we forget how many times we are around water, whether it's even in natural bodies of water, and what our kids have access to. So just being mindful of that if you're going over to visit friends, if you're booking a vacation and the pool has a home. Sadly, there's been cases where children have drowned on vacation because parents just didn't expect the children to be in the pool at that time. Really being aware of your surroundings, knowing when there is water, and making sure that there is somebody who's assigned to keep after the kids, especially if you're in an unfamiliar environment. Another time that's also sadly not uncommon for children to drown is if your child wears flotation devices. This is kind of a double-edged sword. So flotation devices can be helpful in preventing drowning and from an immediacy standpoint, right when they're wearing them. But children don't have an awareness, especially small children, don't have much of an awareness of when they have the device on and when they have it off, and they don't necessarily connect the dots that this device is keeping them afloat. All they know is after mom or dad has removed the life jacket or the flotation device, they now feel free and they feel like, oh, well, I want to get back in the pool because I was just having fun in the pool. So just being aware of that, as whereas the parents in their mind, they're thinking, okay, swim time is over. We're now transitioning to something else. The child may not be making that transition. So just being aware of that is super important.
Great life advice. Craig Sears, founder of the Greater Atlanta Water Safety Alliance. Craig, how can people get in touch with you one more time?
So you can reach out to us. Our direct office line is 770-993-7499 or via text at 404-819-7665. Or you can visit our website at gawatersafety.org, and email is info@gawatersafety.org. I did want to give one more shout out, if I can, to Swim Angelfish. So if you have any folks that are from the autistic community, Swim Angelfish has really pioneered the curriculum for adaptive swim lessons. And so if you are looking for adaptive swim lessons, asking if they provide the Swim Whisperers curriculum is a great starting question too.
I love that. Craig, thank you so much for being on the show today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Gina.
Never too early or too late to get your kids or young adults swim ready. It's that important. So as we move into fall here in the next couple of weeks, we want to make sure that your kids continue to take those classes. And if you're in financial distress, I get it. Everybody's been pinching pennies. Make sure you reach out to the Greater Atlanta Water Safety Alliance. You might be able to apply for one of their scholarships. Thank you so much for tuning into Life with the Spectrum week after week, really making a difference, connecting you with tools and resources, organizations and foundations just like Craig Sears at the Greater Atlanta Water Safety Alliance. It is our sole goal to keep connecting you with those kind of folks. And so make sure if you know somebody I need to be speaking with, you reach out to gcast.com. That's GKASTS.com. I wish you a happy Labor Day weekend. And until next time, we live life with the Spectrum. See ya.
Bye.